Hey, in this training program, you can design your own project. You can be a project manager and really learn project management on the job training. It's not like just hearing something about project management, but really performing like a project outcome. And one of the big parts of this is like setting up a project, like planning the whole thing, getting people on board to be team members for you in the project, and you learn leadership and so on. So that's why you learn communication, leadership, teamwork, and all these kind of. So that's what you learn. Huh? And if you haven't really done this yet, and like really experienced in these kind of things, of course, it's like a huge thing. It's like the first time you learn driving a car, But you don't have to make it overly complicated, because of course I like people to actually win what they do, to actually perform. If you say I'm doing a project about X, that it actually works, that we can give you the stuff you need, and you make it really work. That's like wonderful. And you don't have to make the whole thing, like pie in the sky or something like terribly complicated in the beginning. Because let's face it, if you haven't done these kind of things before, you first want to do like learn, okay, how do I build a team? If you are doing something where you don't pay people, if you are used to like me, I was like in a company and I could I was a senior manager, I could tell the people they had to do what I tell them, that was a possibility I had. But when you are in a project like this, you don't have that possibility maybe. Maybe you have, but it's like, you can pay people to do something for you, and then they're like in your team. But maybe one big learning here is to build a project with team members who are not getting paid, who are working for something. So, and the big thing today is about cooperation. So, you don't have to do everything from scratch, That's like the thing. We already have a big project going on. So we have a really big task. It's like we want to do something against climate change. We want to get awareness for climate change. We have solutions. We want to implement them. But like the base level which is so big, is informing, talking about it, raising awareness channels, like networking with influencers, training people to become influencers about the topic. So it's like absolutely endless. There's health involved, like art. You can be an artist and draw something and make people aware of this. You can like be in the health sector, or in the food sector, or any kind of in mental health, big thing like burnout. There's like endless possibilities here that like people actually find out what they want to do, and they can do it by joining something like a project which is working in a certain direction. So, and what you can do is you can set up your own project, and we are like really good in giving you like full authority about something, and not like telling you what to do all the time. Like the only thing is like, if I look at, if you quote any figures, and so that it should be like based in science, not in something weird, but like that's what we do. We have a basis of science, but that's like the only thing. Everything else you do is like your thing, and you can set up something, and it's a cooperation. You do your project, and it's like really your project. You can say, I'm going to make an event. I'm going to present people about this stuff. I just get some people on board, and I organize this. Okay, really good. And you can use common resources, what we already have. You could be posting something on a channel which already exists, so you don't have to do all that stuff. There are already people on this channel, so you don't need to bring your own followers. And so on and on. So you can use common resources. We have like a platform ready to discuss things. There's operations going on already. So you don't have to build everything from scratch. You can tap into some common resources. So it makes life dramatically easier. You still should be doing your own project. Otherwise you wouldn't be the project manager. It's like, I do this event. Or you are going to target a certain audience. Like yesterday, I had this really interesting conversation with a person who said, I'm looking for such a project. And, my last attempt was like really, didn't really work. So now I really want to focus on these like things. What do I want to deliver? And I said, okay, what would that be? And it's like, she came up with could be German women. And she had like an idea, I want to deliver something for them. Like that they be powerful, and they choose their path in life, and that's definitely something. A lot of people in their life, like a lot of distractions, stuff like this, and you don't know where to know. If I had like at least this advantage, I always had like when I was a small kid, I wanted to be an astronaut, and and I knew I wanted to be something to do with flying, aerospace. So I was my like career path. This sort of was still, there was like all kinds of my life in any relationship was like a complete mess. But at least I had an idea of what I want to do in life. Like relationships. No, but I had an idea. Oh, I want to become an astronaut, which didn't really work. So I became an engineer, and I knew that. So it was like quite straightforward of what I was doing and where I was working for. That so I didn't really have that problem. But that person said, there are a lot of like young women. Well, I want to have them like going this direction. It's like wonderful, yeah. Like you can do like and start by reduce. You do reduce CO2 and then like Frauen, yeah, German for women, and you say, hey, I'm building this community, and I'm doing like a subgroup. Do my own channels, start my own social media here, maybe start posting with my own channels, and then one of the things could be, hey, start like doing events, gatherings, whatever, and maybe, like one of the things is start training people instead of like consuming social media and getting stressed by it, of all these pressures, what you have to perform. You just go on and say, hey, I'm going to train people in, hey, you can go from consuming that stuff into production. And suddenly, your life changes, because you, from a consumer, like imagine when you watch TV shows all the time and you think you always have to be like this. And, I have been, when I was in school, I have been I was like doing a job in a theater. Yeah? So I was like the guy for music, stage. I was like the only person really there who had to do all the technical part, like opening the stage and everything. So I had like, experience with, it was a small theater, but it was a theater. They were doing like stuff on the stage. And then really professionals. And then, I went into the whole new world, and it's like really cool being with all these people, really, yeah? So, but, I became from somebody who's just a watcher and consumer to a producer, and suddenly you see things differently. The same is on social media. You start, questioning, it's that stuff. They're just doing something. They're just showing something. You go to producing something. So the key message is you don't have to do. Of course, you can say I'm doing a project, and you can be in this program, and you do everything from scratch. It's all yours. And it's going to be more work, and there's more chances to fail. Do that, I can't, it's you have to, but if you say, hey, yeah, that's really cool, I have this idea, and that person had this idea, I want to like service and help and bring people on their path in life, and not exactly sure how to do that. I said, okay, good. Start with cooperation. And you can start addressing this audience because, like, let's face it, the problem of climate change is like really there. So you can start using this, get your experience with that and how to do social media. And then like you can add the message, you can like, whatever, you just like train yourself in actually running your own project, because let's face it, you still have lots of stuff to do. You have to like go and get your team members, like go on the street and ask like 20, 50 people if they want to be part of your project. Or you go in certain areas where your audience is like more, a place where there are already a lot of women in that case, for example. But, you just like enroll people, you can use all kinds of tricks. And the idea is really cooperation. You can have your individual projects, but it can be in frameworks that you can tap into some common resources. And stuff like this. So it makes your life much easier. You still learn really project management because like the whole thing, and actually you're learning from when something works, and of course you learn from when it doesn't work. But if everything isn't working, you don't learn anything. So thank you very much for watching. Think about this. How can you cooperate inside of a larger framework and use something and do really a lot of learning, do your own projects, and be part of something. It could be even be that you say, hey, I'm going to take over a complete new channel in an area. Whatever, up to you. Thank you very much for watching. And of course, like the possibilities for cooperation, I think, are practically endless in all kinds of areas. Even you're an artist, you want to create art about climate change and so on. Welcome, There's a possibility that we already have a framework here for all this kind of social media stuff and attract people to you and you attract others to us. Cool. Good. Thank you very much for watching. Please follow the channel.